They told you that being alone was a problem to be solved, a void to be filled. But what if they were wrong? What if the most powerful, transformative, and liberating chapter of your life begins not when you find the right person, but when you finally courageously choose yourself? They told you that being alone was a problem to be solved, a void to be filled. But what if they were wrong? What if the most powerful, transformative, and liberating chapter of your life begins not when you find the right person, but when you finally, courageously choose yourself? No, I want you to think about that word for a moment, alone. How does it feel when you say it? For so many, it feels heavy. It sounds like silence that is too loud. It feels like an empty chair at the dinner table, a quiet phone, a weekend with no plans. We have been conditioned to run from that feeling, to scroll, to call, to text, to fill that space with anything and anyone, just to avoid the echo of our own company. We confuse alone with lonely, and in doing so, we miss the greatest opportunity we will ever be given. You know, that space, that quiet you are so afraid of is not your enemy. It is not a punishment. It is the most sacred training ground you will ever step onto. Imagine a champion athlete. Do you see them training with the crowd? No. You see them in the gym when no one is watching, on the track at dawn, in the silence, pushing their limits, rep after grueling rep. That is what this is. This is your rep. This time by yourself is where you build the emotional muscle you never knew you had. It is where you learn to sit with your own thoughts. And instead of being terrified by them, become curious about them. You discover the melodies you enjoy, the hobbies that make you lose track of time, the simple peace of a morning walk with no destination. There is a profound emotion that blooms in this space, and it is not loneliness. It is a quiet, steadying sense of self-trust. It is the realization that you can handle this, that you can come home to a quiet house and be okay, that you can enjoy a movie by yourself and actually laugh out loud, that you can navigate a problem without immediately calling for a committee meeting. This is where you learn that your own approval is the only approval that truly feeds your soul. You begin to forge an identity that is not a reflection of what your friends expect or what a partner desires, but what you authentically are. This is not about building a wall around your heart. It is about building a foundation beneath your feet so strong that now when you do invite someone else to stand there with you, they are not there to hold you up. They are there to admire the view you built together. This is your training ground. Your silence is not empty. It is full of your own becoming. We are by nature social creatures. We crave connection, to be seen, to be valued. And in that deep and human yearning, we make silent agreements. We trade little pieces of our soul for the comfort of company. We say yes when we mean no. We laugh at a joke that cuts us. We swallow our opinion to keep the peace. We silence our own intuition screaming in our ear because we are so afraid of the alternative, the quiet, the stillness, the perceived judgment of being on our own. We tell ourselves it is a small price to pay, but it is not small. The cost is your peace, and peace is the very foundation upon which a joyful life is built. Every time you compromise your values to avoid an argument, you are handing a piece of your self-respect over to someone else. You are telling yourself, my comfort is more important than my truth. Every time you absorb the negativity or the drama of another person because you feel obligated, you are allowing your inner light to be dimmed. Your energy is your currency. You are spending it on a debt that was never yours to pay. You lie awake at night, your mind racing, replaying conversations, feeling that subtle, catching knot in your stomach that you cannot quite name. That is the cost. That knot is the physical manifestation of your spirit asking, why am I not being heard? Why am I allowing this? Because that feeling, that anxiety is not a sign that you are failing at the relationship. It is a sign that the relationship or the dynamic is failing you. It is your inner compass spinning wildly, trying to point you back to your true north. Peace is not the absence of noise. It is the presence of harmony within yourself. It is waking up in the morning with a calm heart. It is the ability to sit in silence and feel not dread, but contentment. When you choose to stay in a space that constantly disrupts that peace, you are choosing to live in a storm. You are choosing to abandon yourself. Being better off alone means you finally choose to come in out of that storm. It means you declare that your peace is non-negotiable. It is the ultimate act of self-love. It is saying, I would rather sit in the quiet and learn to love my dog, own company, than sit in a crowded room and feel completely unknown. It is understanding that the temporary discomfort of setting a boundary is infinitely more valuable than the permanent ache of resentment. This is not about blaming others. It is about honoring yourself. It is about deciding that you will no longer set yourself on fire to keep another person warm. You will no longer compromise the masterpiece of your spirit for an audience that does not appreciate its value. You choose the profound quiet where you can hear your own heart beat again over the deafening noise of a compromise that was slowly breaking you. That is a price you will never have to pay again in the constant hum of other people's lives. It is so very difficult to hear the sound of your own. We live in a world of committees. Committees of friends offering well-intentioned advice. Committees of family members with their expectations. Committees of partners with their desires. Committees of strangers on screen shouting their opinions. We bring every decision, every dream, every doubt to this crowded room inside our minds. And we ask for a vote. And in that noise, the most important voices drown out your own. You have felt this, that moment of hesitation when you are about to make a choice. And you immediately wonder what they will think. That dream you have tucked away in a drawer because someone once told you it was not practical. That subtle feeling in your gut, a quiet knowing that you dismiss because it does not align with the consensus. We outsource our clarity to the committee, and we are left with a life that feels like it belongs to someone else. It feels familiar, but it does not feel like home. That disconnect, that feeling of being lost in your own skin is the price of living by committee. Now, imagine a glass of water. When it is constantly shaken, stirred, and jostled, the water is cloudy. You cannot see through it. It is turbulent and unclear. But when you place that glass on a steady table and allow it to be still, something beautiful happens. The sediment, the particles that clouded your vision begin to settle. Slowly, surely, the water becomes transparent. It becomes clear. Your mind and spirit are that glass of water. Solitude is the steady table. The chaos of the world, the opinions of others, the constant need for validation, that is the shaking. It keeps everything murky. Clarity is not something you find by searching frantically outside of yourself. It is not something another person can give you. It is what remains when you allow the noise to settle. In the quiet, you begin to hear the whispers of your intuition. That gut feeling becomes a trusted guide, not a nuisance to be ignored. Your true passions, the ones that make your soul feel electric, begin to rise to the surface when they are no longer being suppressed by the shoulds and the musts of everyone else. Your purpose is not found in a crowd. It is found in the courageous act of sitting with yourself in the sacred space of your own company and asking yourself the only question that matters: what do I want? The answers will not come as a shout. They will come as a whisper on a quiet breath. They will feel less like a thought and more like a memory of who you were always meant to be. This is the profound gift of your own solitude. It is the stillness where you finally get to meet yourself. And in that meeting, discover a clarity so brilliant it can light your path for a lifetime. This journey we have spoken of, this choosing of self, is not a path that ends in isolation. It is a journey that leads you to the most profound connection you will ever know. It is the understanding that you must build your own foundation, so strong, so complete that you become a whole universe unto yourself. This is the secret. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. When you come from a place of need, from a quiet emptiness you hope another person will fill, you will attract only those who see that vacancy as an opportunity. You will attract those who bring chaos to your calm, who bring doubt to your certainty, because a fractured foundation cannot support anything truly strong. No, but when you do the work, when you sit in the quiet and build a life you genuinely love living by yourself, something shifts within you. You are no longer a question searching for an answer. You are a statement. You are a soul full of its own light. You establish a new standard for how you deserve to be treated, not from a place of anger or hurt, but from a place of deep and unwavering self-respect. You will no longer tolerate drama because you have worked too hard for your peace. You will no longer accept breadcrumbs of affection because you have learned to bake your own bread. You'll become a sanctuary, and you will recognize immediately those who belong there and those who would track mud on the floors. No, this period of being alone is the necessary pause. It is the space between chapters where the hero integrates their lessons and steps into their power. It is not about shutting the world out. It is about becoming so whole that when you do open the door, you are not looking for a builder to fix you or a tenant to fill you. You are looking for a guest who appreciates the sanctuary you have built. You will attract partners and friends from a place of strength, not need, from a place of desire, not desperation. The connection will be different. It will be calmer, deeper, more authentic. It will be a choice, not a chain. It will be two complete people choosing to build something new together, not two broken pieces trying to use each other to feel whole. So embrace this time. Build your empire in the silence. Forge your character in solitude. Become the person you are meant to be on your own terms. Do this not for them, but for you, because a love that finds you when you are full, when you are complete, when you know your own worth, is the only love that is truly real. It is the love that adds to an already abundant life, rather than the love you hope will rescue you from an empty one. This is the highest purpose of your journey alone, to become so powerfully yourself that you attract a world that reflects that light back to you. So stand in this truth. Embrace the quiet, for it is in the stillness that we truly learn to hear our own soul. Value your peace above the noise, for it is the foundation upon which everything worthy is built. Seek your own clarity, for the most important answers you will ever find are waiting within you, not in the voices of the crowd. And remember, this is not an end. This is the most profound beginning. This is you choosing you. This is you building a home within yourself, so strong, so bright, so full of grace that any love that finds it will not be there to complete you, but to celebrate the masterpiece you have already become. Go forward from this place, not with a sense of lack, but with a spirit of abundance. You are whole. You are enough. You always have been. Now go and live your life as living proof. Thank you